fighter. I think he's amazing. I think he has great technique. He has crazy knockout power.
We all know Tank best weight is 35, 40. You fought Barrios at 40, 35, 40. And you fight Jake Paul, who getting better. I'm like I said, and he got 6 feet tall. Where Tank gonna hit him?
Gervonta Davis kicked off his first day of training camp for the Jake Paul fight with explosive intensity. During pad work, Davis unleashed a blistering 35 punch combination, showcasing his trademark speed and power. His sharp movements and precision reflect the focus he's bringing into camp. Fans and analysts see this as a strong statement that Davis is preparing to dismantle Jake Paul with experience, discipline, and relentless pressure inside the ring. Davis also set social media buzzing with a post on Instagram, saying, "See y'all soon. I guess ATL going to be two-turned," followed by, "Tell them to send that bag and I'm coming." This statement highlights 2 key points. First, Davis is eager to get back in the ring, and second, he demands respect for the business side of boxing. In today's landscape, where fighters balance legacy with financial security, Tank's message resonates. It's not just a casual post. It's a declaration that he's both ready and motivated for what's next. The combination of excitement for competition and a demand for proper compensation paints a picture of a fighter who understands his worth and refuses to compromise.
Don't cheat on the boy.
Before the fight was even official, Davis made his thoughts clear about Jake Paul's entry into boxing. He once dismissed Paul's efforts as trash, reflecting the skepticism many professionals feel toward celebrities crossing into combat sports. Davis pointed out that Jake Paul likely pursued boxing out of boredom with other ventures like YouTube. This criticism captures the tension between traditional boxing purists and the new wave of entertainment-driven fighters. However, despite Tank's earlier words, Paul's persistence has forced even the sports elite to acknowledge him. The fact that Davis is now stepping into the ring with Paul proves how far Paul has come, turning what was once seen as a novelty into one of the most talked about events in boxing.
I text that again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, and that, stop it, knock it off, cuz. Stop it. Tell them to send that bag, and I'm coming. And I'm, you know.
The Davis vs. Paul fight has ignited a fierce debate within boxing circles. Many see the match as confirmation of their fears that boxing has shifted from being a merit and legacy-driven sport to one dominated by spectacle and entertainment. Detractors argue that this fight diminishes the sport's integrity, turning boxing into a circus act rather than a contest among the best athletes. Yet, there's a broader context. Boxing has always balanced sport and show business. Muhammad Ali's charisma, Mike Tyson's pay-per-view dominance, and other moments of spectacle have been part of its history. Whether fans view this fight as a joke or a moneymaker largely depends on their perspective on the balance between legacy and entertainment.
What do you think of former athletes and celebrities like Jake Paul taking up boxing? You think that grows the sport?
If he's doing it for the right reason, actually want to do it because of just like actually want to box, it's cool. But if he's doing it for like the wrong reason, just to get the hype and stuff like that, I feel as though it's trash. Sometimes people get bored at what they want, what they doing, and they want to try other stuff. Got to be mentally tough to be able to box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
For sure. That's all I got. Thank you, bro.
Sure. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Former super middleweight contender Jesse Hart voiced his frustrations with critics who accused Davis of abandoning legacy by taking the Paul fight. Hart argued that Davis isn't forsaking history but navigating the modern boxing landscape. He stated, "Tank has the right to prioritize financial opportunities, even if some interpret it as joining the circus." Hart's words highlight the divide among fighters themselves. Some believe Davis should focus on challenging top-tier opponents like Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez, while others see big paydays against globally recognized figures like Paul as smart business moves. Hart's defense frames Davis's decision not as betrayal but as strategic. While many analysts support Davis's choice, not everyone is convinced.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
Boxing commentator Andy Ross offered a surprising take. He predicts Jake Paul will win. Ross explained that although the fight is a great idea for both fighters, Paul's size advantage and unorthodox style could be the deciding factors. This perspective underscores the intrigue of this matchup. Despite lacking Davis's boxing pedigree, Paul's size, confidence, and unconventional approach create real unpredictability. Ross's prediction may be unpopular among purists, but it reflects those who believe Paul has earned more respect than the boxing world often gives him. Not everyone is convinced the bout will even happen, adding another layer of uncertainty.
Circus, man, that's the circus. If you want to join the circus, that's the circus. I don't see the value. I just see money in that, involved in that. If they want the money, if that's what they want to do, then go ahead and go ahead and get the money. But other than that, I'm not. You got a guy, Jake Paul, that's what, 6'3", 6'4", almost. Then you got a guy, Gervonta Davis, that's like 5'5", a little guy. Yeah. Y'all gonna try to, who's 200 pounds, who's just for Mike Tyson there, I'm gonna throw him in there with a 135. It's just a circus. And that's what they want to do, to get money, to generate money in the sport of boxing instead of Gervonta Davis. This is a legacy fight. He was supposed to fight Lamont Rope after this, and then he say, no. Think about it. You really can't say too much. When you say Gervonta Tank Davis and you say Lamont Roach, it's still a question mark on that fight. It was still a question mark on that rumble. You just gonna leave it and then go right to the money and say, no, I ain't. That's how you know legacy and everything don't matter. I did that before. I took the money with the Joe Smith fight when my hand was fucked up and, excuse my language, my hand was messed up, broke in training camp, and I still said, yo, no, I'm taking that, I'm still fighting him. I'm not gonna not fight him again. We're fighting him, Dad. We're fighting him, Rick. We're fighting him, Fred. I went against everybody. Jesse, don't take the fight, man. Let your hand heal. Let's get the surgery. No, I'm fighting him. It's too close. We 3 weeks out. I'm fighting him.
Coach Bernie dismissed the matchup entirely, stating he doesn't believe it will happen even as an exhibition. To him, the fight lacks purpose and credibility, representing more hype than substance. His skepticism isn't unique. Historically, many high-profile crossover fights have fallen apart during negotiations. Bernie's doubts reflect broader hesitation within boxing about embracing celebrity-driven events. However, with both Davis and Paul publicly committed, his view may ultimately be proven wrong. Still, his comments highlight that many within the sport remain unconvinced of the fight's legitimacy.
One more thing before I let you go. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Davis.
Crazy.
Your thoughts on this?
I have locks with Snaggy right there. I think Jake Paul wins that fight. You're way, look, obviously Gervonta Davis has way more experience. He's a hell of a fighter. He's done so much more for boxing and you know, than a lot of people. But to say that, you know, that's not, everyone's gonna want to watch that fight. I think it's a genius idea. I think Jake Paul sets the craziest expectations, and I think he sets the bar so high now in the boxing world. Jake Paul revived boxing. You know, people can say what they want to say about it, but Jake Paul really revived the sport of boxing. You know, Joe Rogan once said previously, not so long ago, but he did speak about how boxing would eventually die out and all the eyes would shift to MMA. And it's true. I sit there, I'll watch UFC whenever there's an amazing pay-per-view event. I'm always watching it. Boxing, I don't really watch it as much. And yeah, you can call me a casual to the sport. I'm just getting into it. But the people that are just getting into the sport, UFC is like the new boxing, what it was 20, 30 years ago. So Jake Paul is changing and reviving the sport of boxing, in my opinion. But I think that Jake Paul wins that fight. I love Gervonta as a fighter. I think he's amazing. I think he has great technique. He has crazy knockout power. Don't underestimate him.
You've spoken to him before, haven't you?
Yeah.
When you're doing it was you and Ron Garcia and Gervonta and Tank when they were both fighting.
Yeah. I just spoke with Gervonta today, actually. So when I get back to Miami, him and I might do something. I don't know. But, you know, I think, like I said, don't count him out. But I think Jake Paul wins that fight.